How y'all doing?
Hi darlings, my name is Daniella and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a what I've been reading, and I'm so excited to do this video because I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I wanted to wait until I've read enough books for it to be like a good video. I'm a pretty slow reader, so one of my goals this year was to read at least one book each month, but I actually have ended up reading almost 2 books each month, so I'm really happy and excited to talk to you about all of them. Before we get into this video though, I want to say hi to any new people here. If this is your first time seeing me, hi, hello, my name is Daniella. I make video essays, I make commentary videos, I vlog sometimes, and I do a lot of more other things. So if you like those things, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and comment down below. My Goodreads will be linked down below as well, so you guys can follow along with me when I'm reading, and I'll also include a currently reading tab in my description box. I'm planning to get some new books this weekend, so if you have any YA book recommendations, please comment them down below. Like, I really need some, and I'm honestly willing to read anything at this point. I'm gonna go through each book by when I read them, and then I'll also talk about my Goodreads review, how many stars I gave it, a little bit about the book, and if I recommend it or not. The first book that I read this month was actually the first Bridgerton book. It's called The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. Obviously I read this because I had watched Bridgerton on Netflix in December. If you want to see my whole review about the show, I'll put it in the cards. I made a video about it. It was a lot better than the show, I will say. Like, I did enjoy the book more than I did enjoy the show, but obviously the inappropriate scene that happened in the show was a lot more vivid in the book, and it was more clearly what it was in the book. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, read some reviews on the book. I will say though, I will recommend the book if you are a Bridgerton fan, or if you plan to watch the show. I would definitely say to read the books, because I feel like you just get to understand the show a bit more, and it's more fun. The next book I read this year was Always and Forever, Lara Jean by Jenny Han. Obviously this is the 3rd book in the To All the Boys series, and I already read the whole To All the Boys series. I just reread this book in preparation for the new movie coming out, which I actually really love the movie, so I'm happy. There were a lot of changes from the book that I wasn't very excited about, but I actually really enjoyed the movie. I gave this 4 stars, and if you want to hear my review on the movie, I will link my what I watched in February video, and where I talk more about the changes between the book and the movie. The next book I read was If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. This is the first James Baldwin book that I've ever read, which I was really excited about, and I read it before I watched the movie because I wanted to like know the storyline. I will recommend that you watch the movie because Barry Jenkins did a great job on it, and if you want to see my review on that one as well, to my what I watched in March video. I read this during the snowstorm that happened, so it only took me about a week. It's a pretty short read, I definitely would say that, and it's worth the read. It's a great book, it's a great story, very lovely, and a different type of romance, and it's also set in the 60s and written in the 60s, I believe, so there's a lot of like old lingo in here that's like really weird. I gave it 4 stars. I would have given it 4.5 stars, but Goodreads doesn't let you do that, so I would say that this is a 4.5 star book, and I definitely recommend it. The next book I read this year that I'm so excited to talk about is the autobiography of Malcolm X as told to Alex Haley. Reading Daniella, Alex Haley. Obviously I gave this book 5 stars, and when I say that this book changed my life, like, it genuinely did. And I just think every Black person should read this book. I think that everyone that is fighting for the liberation of Black people should read this book, and I'm just so thankful that I finally read it. Obviously, like, growing up in the US, Black History Month always learned about MLK, and you learn that Malcolm X was like the violent version of MLK, and I feel like this book I just learned so much from this book, not only about Malcolm, but everything that was going on at that time, and just like more about him and his part in the civil rights movement and the liberation of Black people. So I recommend this book to literally everyone. It took me a month to read this book. My copy is the mass market copy. It's 465 pages. It's a pretty small book, as you can see. So yeah, but I mean, just this book changed my life. Everyone needs to read it. It's a great read. It's really interesting. Like, it's not a boring book at all. Like, Malcolm has really interesting stories, and it only took me a month to read because one, I'm a slow reader, and two, I really wanted to savor the book. So just read the book. Like, please, I'm begging y'all to read this book. It's so great. The next book I read was Buried Beneath the Baobab Tree by Adaobi, Tricia, Nwubani. Please do not come after me for not knowing how to pronounce her name. Yes, I'm a Nigerian person, and I don't know how to pronounce her name. I don't know what else to tell you. This was a really good book. I read this for a school assignment. I gave it 3.5 stars. Not because anything was particularly bad, but it just like wasn't a 5-star book to me, you know what I mean? It's about the Boko Haram abductions, and it's a fictionalized story about a girl that is abducted by Boko Haram and her story. I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. Also, being a Nigerian person, you know, it's something that's very near and close and dear to my heart. So yeah, I enjoyed this book. I will say that there's a trigger warning because there is rape in this book, and it's not really vivid, but it's definitely there. So yeah, but it's a good YA read. Like, younger kids can read it. It's really short, really simple, and I really enjoyed it. Then I read The Betrothed by Kiera. I gave this book 2 stars because I was very disappointed in it. Obviously, if you are familiar with Kiera, you know that she wrote the Selection series, which I absolutely love. The Selection series, I've read it like 3 times. Like, it's a series of books that I know well, that I love, and I was really expecting great things from Kiera because I've read her books before. But this book was not it. It's a forbidden lovers trope book, which I'm not a big fan of forbidden lovers, but I'm not gonna like completely write it off, but it just wasn't done well. I feel like the story kind of veered off so randomly at times, and it just lost what the whole storyline even was. And like, a whole storyline happened that just was completely, it was just bad. Like, I didn't enjoy it. It was definitely a letdown because I had such high expectations coming off the Selection series. But I feel like if I reread the Selection series now, I'll see how flawed it was. I wouldn't recommend this book. I'm sorry, especially if you were reading this because it's Kiera. I would just say that this is definitely a pass. I'm so sorry to say it. The next book that I read, I'm so excited to talk about this book, is called The Meet Cute Project. It is by Rhiannon Richardson, and I actually won this book in a Twitter giveaway done by Cameron Garrett, who's also an author, and her new book actually just came out, so y'all should go check her out. I will link down her Twitter below and also a link to her new book. Shout out to her, and thank you to her for sending me this book. I didn't really know what this book was about when I entered the giveaway. I kind of just entered the giveaway and I won it, which is really exciting. It's basically about this girl who is supposed to get a date to her sister's wedding, and so her and her friends plan out this meet cute project for her to meet the guy that she's supposed to take on the date to her sister's wedding in like a cute way, kind of remake movie things. I started out the book and I was a little bit bored. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I was 4 chapters in and I was like, I'm not really loving this book, so I took a break from it, and then I came back to it and I absolutely loved it. I literally like devoured this book so quickly. It took me a week to read, and it was so great. It's the YA book I wish I had when I was a little bit younger, because it's literally a black YA book. Like, the main character is black, her family's black, her friend group is black, and you know, there's LGBTQIA characters in here. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but I would have given it 4.5 stars because it definitely deserved it. I also believe it's the author's debut novel, so shout out to her because I really enjoyed it. I don't want to say too much because I'm gonna ruin the book for you, but like, read the book. And the last book that I have read so far this year is Monster by Walter Dean Myers. It's about this kid who's on trial for the murder of a store clerk that was murdered during the robbery, and it's actually written in screenplay format, which is really interesting. It's written in his perspective, his time in jail, and like his whole trial. The movie for this book actually just got put on to Netflix. I wanted to read this before I watched the movie. I will say that the book is better than the movie in my opinion. Calvin Harrison Jr. is in that though, and Jennifer Hudson is in the movie, and Jeffrey Wright is in the movie. So there's a lot of great people. A$AP Rocky is also in it, and John David Washington is in it. Like, it's a great cast. Lovie Simone is in that movie too. Like, it's a really great cast. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the book, but this is a great read. It's only about 200 pages, almost 300 pages. It took me 2 days to read this book. I thought it was great. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. I would have given it 3.5 stars, but you know, don't have half-star ratings, so please give us half-star ratings, Goodreads. I enjoyed it, and I definitely do recommend this book. Out of all 8 of the books that I have read this year so far, obviously we're gonna read more, these 2 are the ones I definitely want y'all to read. And if you do, please let me know. Comment down below if you do. If you've read these books, let me know. Check out my Goodreads as well if you want to follow me there. I'll link it down below. But yeah, that's really all that I've read. I definitely am planning to read more. I'm going to the library this weekend, so if you guys have any recommendations, please. Oh, actually, by the time that this video is up, I would have already gone. But for the next library visit that I have, please comment down below what YA books you have recommended. And even if they're not YA books, I really want more revolutionary texts as well, and like liberation movement. So if you have any recommendations on those as well, please comment them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you got some good book recommendations from this video, or you got to see someone else talk about a book that you read. If you did, please like this video, comment, and hit the subscribe button for more book videos. Also, if you want to check out more videos, there will be linked down below, and I will link in the cards all of, it might be on this side, I don't know what side it is, but I will link in the cards all of the what I watched in month videos that included some of the book to movie adaptations from this list. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!